Experience the magic of impossible goals scored in the most impossible situations. Join us as we unravel the extraordinary feats of skill, timing, and sheer determination that defy the odds and leave spectators in awe. Number 19. Zinedine Zidane vs. Bayer Leverkusen in 2002. The match between Real Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen was a tight affair until Roberto Carlos won a challenge on the left side of the attack. Somehow, the Brazilian was able to put in a cross which landed squarely on the position Zinedine Zidane was standing. Real Madrid would go on to claim the Champions League, and Zidane continued to cement his place as one of the best players of his generation. Number 18. Wayne Rooney, Everton vs. Arsenal in 2002. With all the extracurricular goings-on in the life of Mr. Rooney, it's easy to momentarily forget just how brilliant he was as a player. His first senior goal is one of the finest examples of this, showing a 16-year-old completely comfortable with his inherent talent, embarrassing a powerful, and up to that point, despite scoring a hatful of bangers in a trophy-laden career, it's Wayne Rooney's greatest goal. Number 17. Gareth Bale, Real Madrid vs. Liverpool, 2018. Despite Gareth Bale and Real Madrid not really getting along, he still came up with some era-defining goals. While his white-hot sprint against Atletico Madrid is eye-watering in its incredulity, his first goal in the Champions League final, 2 minutes after coming off the bench, is frankly ridiculous. It's pure, bombastic, and a fitting goal with which to crown any team. It's a stonker, basically. Number 16. Dimitri Payet, OM vs. PAOK, 2022. When it comes to pure strikes, the most recent goal is a memorable one for sure. A happy Payet is a good Payet, as proven here when he connected pristinely with a corner ball and saw his shot glide faultlessly into the corner as dramatically as anything opponent PAOK's compatriot Sophocles came up with. We want to see a ball tracker on this ASAP. Number 15. James Rodríguez's chest and volley in World Cup 2014. Against Uruguay in the 2014 World Cup, James Rodríguez made his global debut with an incredible goal. With his back to the goal, Rodríguez received the ball on his chest and used deft control to fire a vicious volley that dipped under the crossbar, captivated the attention of supporters everywhere, and thrust Rodríguez into the public eye. It was a goal that perfectly captured the allure of the World Cup, a place where legends are created and stars are born. Number 14. Cristiano Ronaldo's bicycle kick against Juventus in 2018. Cristiano Ronaldo took the bicycle kick to a whole new level during a Champions League match between Real Madrid and Juventus. With a seemingly unnatural grace, Ronaldo rose to his feet and completed a precisely placed bicycle kick that sent the ball skyrocketing into the net's corner, beyond the startled goalkeeper's reach. But it was also a work of art that even the Juventus supporters couldn't help but admire. This unusual show of support says a lot about how highly regarded real football brilliance is throughout the world. Number 13. Zlatan Ibrahimović in 2012. Zlatan Ibrahimović scored one of the greatest goals ever in a friendly match with England at the end of 2012. Zlatan pivoted on his heel, jumped into the air, and hooked an overhead kick into the England goal from 30 yards after England goalkeeper Joe Hart made a bad-headed clearance. Ibrahimovic's skill, poise, athleticism, and accuracy were exceptional. Number 12. Ronaldinho's volley against Villarreal in 2006. In a La Liga encounter against Villarreal, Ronaldinho, the epitome of football creativity and joy, gave the world a goal to remember. As a cross approached and Ronaldinho was being closely watched by defenders, he decided to take a risk and attempted an overhead kick that caused the ball to loop into the net. This goal demonstrated Ronaldinho's natural flair and his capacity to produce brilliant moments out of the most impossible circumstances. It was a goal that put a grin on your face and served as a reminder of how unpredictable and entertaining football can be when done right. Number 11. Carlos Alberto in 1970. Representing their country at the 1970 World Cup, Brazil's football team was among the best in history. The group, which comprised Pelé, Jairzinho, Rivellino, and Gerson, was led by Carlos Alberto. One of the finest team goals ever scored happened in this final match. Number 10. Rivaldo in 2001. Rivaldo was a bright and skillful football player for the Brazilian team. He filled the roles of second striker, winger, and midfielder. In 2001, Brazil needed to put on a spectacular show to show other teams how strong they were. By the final 3 minutes, Rivaldo scored 2 goals in a row and completed his hat trick with an overhead kick. Brazil advanced to the championship game due to this goal, which was noteworthy for both its beauty and significance. Number 9. George Weah in 1996. One of the most recognizable goals in soccer history was scored by African professional football player George Weah. With 10 minutes remaining, his club had fallen behind Verona 2-1. He quickly advanced toward Verona's goal after grabbing the ball in front of the penalty area. Weah hits the ball straight into the goal while avoiding 2 defenders in the process. Any African football player would have been proud of his solo goal. Number 8. Dennis Bergkamp in 2002. Former Dutch player Dennis Bergkamp is currently carrying out the duties of a coach. Throughout his career, he played soccer as a midfielder, a second striker, and finally a major striker. Everyone was taken aback by his goal for Arsenal against Newcastle in 2002. What he did in March of 2002 was unimaginable. It is impossible to put into words how he hit the ball backward and spun to score. Number 7. Pelé Jaw, opening goal in 1958. When Pelé represented Brazil in a 1958 match against Sweden, he was just 17 years old. Brazilian teams provide spectators with exciting and beautiful matchups in every game tournament. In order to assess each player's mental capacity prior to the World Cup, the Brazilian squad engaged a large number of psychologists. One of the psychiatrists termed Pelé a reckless individual who wasn't good for the team. But then he scored the stunning goal in the semi-final that went down as one of the World Cup's most flawless strikes. Number 6. Eric Cantona in 1996. One of the most well-known goal scorers in the history of professional football players is Eric Cantona. He was a superb goal scorer who was a powerful player. The game was about to end with 4 minutes remaining in 1996. The King, who was positioned close to the penalty area, received the ball from David. After kicking the ball past 5 defenders and into the net, Eric scored the goal. Cantona's most memorable moment while he absorbed in the atmosphere and gave a vaunting look. Number 5. Roberto Carlos in 1997. When Roberto Carlos kicked one of the most flawless goals in football history back in 1997, it made history. Roberto was competing for Brazil against France in a tournament held in France. The ball took off and he struck it, hitting the goalpost. The ball was flying, and the opposing French squad was unable to even touch it. He had a remarkable goal that defied all known laws of physics. Even after decades, scientists of physics are unable to explain his goal completely by explaining ball trajectory. Number 4. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, again in 2004. Swedish football player. Zlatan Ibrahimovic was a forward on the Swedish national team. In 2004, Zlatan Ibrahimovic struck a long-range twisting kick that went round and round in his iconic match. Zlatan's goal became one of the most well-known goals of the century. Zlatan is still renowned for his captivating and unforgettable performance even after all these years. Number 3. Diego Maradona in 1986. Diego was an incredibly talented player of his time. He was a man of remarkable skill, and he had incredible ball control. In 1986, in the FIFA World Cup matchup with England, Maradona's team was leading with 2-1 goals in one match from England. Maradona scored some incredible goals during this time that went on to become the most well-known goal in history. Number 2. Marco van Basten in 1988. Playing for Ajax, AC Milan, and the Netherlands in numerous games, in a 1988 match against the Soviet Union, he scored one of the best goals ever. Basten was unstoppable in that whole game. He hit his finest volley shot against the Soviet Union in the opening inning, scoring a hat trick. In this tournament, he was a top player and was awarded a Player of the Tournament award. Number 1. Lionel Messi in 2007. Lionel Messi is among the best in history. Another memorable goal, this time against Getafe in 2007, was scored by Lionel Messi. Messi, who was 19 years old, played in the first team for the 3rd season, which was unexpected. A Getafe defender was passing the ball to another when Messi stole it from them. 4 opponents get shut out of the ball by Messi. Then, he made a fantastic goal after he turned the ball around. This goal was compared with Diego in technique, but Messi has done better finishing.